Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another video. This one's a little different. Most of you probably don't know, but I've actually been gone for 2 weeks. I went to Ireland, and I just kind of wanted to show you some stuff that I picked up. I don't know if I'm going to throw any pictures on here at the end of the video or anything like that, but basically went to Ireland for my sister's wedding and stayed for 11 days. So I've had videos coming out that I scheduled while I was gone because I wanted to keep putting out content. But I did end up picking up some souvenirs, kind of. I'm not a normal souvenir type guy. I mean, I did pick up like a Blarney Castle Christmas ornament that I'm not going to show here. And then I bought a clotter ring. I've always wanted one, and there was one at a shop there, so I picked that up. But I went and I picked up like books and CDs and a movie, so I thought I'd show those off. Just kind of fun. Like there's the things that I bought will have a story to them now, because I bought them in Ireland. So it's kind of cool to me. So every time I re-experience something, it'll remind me where I got it from. So first up, actually I'm just gonna bring them all over here. So we went to a couple places in Ireland. Actually, we went around almost the entire country. We started off landing in Dublin, went up to Northern Ireland, to a place called Portrush, and then we kind of went east, back down south, and then back up to Dublin. One of the stops we went to was a little town called Cong, and that is a town where they filmed a movie back in the day called The Quiet Man. It's a John Wayne movie about a fighter who kills somebody during a fight. I think he's a boxer. I've never seen it, but then goes back home to Ireland to kind of deal with his guilt and stuff. So we went to that little town and went to a museum. It's my stepdad's like one of his favorite movies. So this is a place he really wanted to go to. And after I said I hadn't seen it, he was like, "Oh, you need to see it." And I was like, "Okay, well if they have it at the gift shop at the museum," because I knew there was a museum, I'll pick it up. So they had it. I picked it up. Turns out it's a Region 2 movie, and I can't play it here. So I'm gonna have to come up with another copy to actually watch. But this one I'll hold on to as a memory piece. You know, whatever. It's funny, but it was pretty cool. That little town was neat. They had like a statue of one of the scenes there, and they have like a cottage kind of set up for the museum, and you go in and it looks like the whole set, and they have costumes and you can put costumes on, and it was fun. We went to the bar that's in the movie for lunch, and my stepdad and I both had a Guinness. It was pretty cool. It was neat. Next, it wasn't necessarily the next day, but one of the next days we went to a town called Killarney, which ended up being like my favorite town because it wasn't as busy as like Galway or there was this coast city called Dingle that was just packed. I freaking hated it. It was beautiful, but there was a ton of people and so many cars, and parking was horrendous, and it was just too much for me. So I really enjoyed going to Killarney. just because it kind of had a... It's a small town that feels like a big town, kind of. So you go there and you walk, and it's just like people, but not overbearing amount of people. And just shops all over the place, pubs all over the place. When we first walked into town, one of the pubs, there was a musician playing, and like you walk down a little bit further and the next pub has somebody else playing, and then the next pub has somebody else playing, and it was great. And on that trip, as we drove into town, I noticed a secondhand bookstore, and I was like, oh man, it would be really, really awesome to go check out that secondhand bookstore. But it was like late at night. It wasn't late at night, but it was like 6 o'clock, and a lot of stuff closes pretty early in Ireland, at least in Killarney. That bookshop, I think, closed at like 6:30 or something like that. But we got out, walked around. We'll come back to that bookshop in a minute. But I came across a music store called Music Express. And it's funny because my wife and I had just been talking the other day, the week before we left, about how there's no music stores anywhere around here. Like, even the Best Buy around here doesn't sell music anymore. They don't sell CDs or albums or anything. And there's like no Harmony House anymore. And if you want to go get a CD, you have to like hope that FYE has it, or go to like a flea market or something. It's just ridiculous, and it drives me nuts because when I was a kid, I remember riding my bike up to Harmony House and just flipping through all the CDs, like a whole store dedicated to music, and it bummed me out. When we came across this place called Music Express that was just a music store, there was instruments for sale, but then there was a ton of CDs and music, and then movies in the back, and I was just like, oh man, this is great. I hopped in, I asked the guy what time he closed, and he said 9 o'clock. I said, okay, we're going out to dinner. When we're done, I'll be back. And he was like, okay. And he kind of had that, sure, you'll come back kind of tone in his voice. So we went out to dinner, and I was like, it was 8:15 or something like that after we got done eating. And I was like, oh, we got to go back to that music store. So we went back, and I just started flipping through CDs, trying to find some Irish artists that, I mean, they have had some like radio play here in America. Hosier, however you want to pronounce it. I picked this up, but I was looking for Irish artists. So Hosier, Glenn Hansard, he is kind of known in America. He did a movie called Once. He also did the soundtrack for it and won a Grammy for one of the songs. But this is one of his newer records. This came out in 2018. It's good. It's really good. So I picked those two out, and I went up to the counter, and I said to the guy, I was like, I need your recommendation on a good Irish rock band. And he's like, it doesn't exist. I said, okay, anything you can recommend. And so he pulled out this record, the Coronas, Trust the Wire is the name of the CD. Pulled it out, cut it open, played, I think, the first song, and I let him get halfway into the second one, and I was like, I'll buy it. Not necessarily my kind of go-to music. It's a little more poppy, but I was digging it, and then I could tell my wife was digging it too. So picked this up, and then he had another CD on the counter that it seemed like he was going to open up and play for me and let me hear it before I bought it. But I was like, look, I'm just going to buy that one too. You know, I just have a feeling you wouldn't steer me wrong type of deal. And he was like, okay. So I bought this Walking on Cars is the name of the band. Everything This Way is the name of the CD, and it is phenomenal. These guys need to blow up. I really, really enjoyed this one. So much so that I downloaded their newest CD called Colors. Really, really good stuff. If you get a chance, check out Walking on Cars. Great band. And so I had those 4 CDs I went to check out, and he was like, I can't believe he actually came back. He said, "You're a legend." I thought that was pretty funny, and so he threw this in as well. Whiskey in the Jar, various artists doing covers of old drinking songs, Irish pub songs. So, oops, haven't actually listened to that yet, but pretty cool. He was a really cool guy. Actually, so much so that I ended up taking a picture with him. It was pretty funny. But yeah, so Music Express was in Killarney was awesome. Then the next morning after we woke up, we also stayed at this really awesome Airbnb in Killarney. Just kind of this 150-year-old house with rocks and with a red door. It was awesome. It was so cool. It felt like a nice old Irish home that we stayed in. It was great. But we woke up, actually went to McDonald's for breakfast, and then made our way to the bookstore. And I was super stoked. I was like, oh man, I can't wait to get in there and see what they have, like secondhand books. I told my mom and my wife that I thought it'd be really cool if I could find an Oscar Wilde book in a secondhand shop in Ireland. So that was what I was looking for. So we went in there. The secondhand shop was upstairs. On the bottom was like school supplies for kids. Go up, and I immediately go to the classics section because that's where I figured Oscar Wilde would be. I ended up finding an Oscar Wilde book, The Happy Prince, The Selfish Giant, and Other Tales, hardcover. Pretty awesome. Got it for €4, which euros I think are like $1, are worth United States $1.17 or 13 or something like that. Not much. So basically I got it for like $4. Then I found 3 Kafka books that I've always meant to read, meant to find, never have. So I picked them up. I have The Trial, America, The Man Who Disappeared, that's the in parentheses, and then The Castle. Super stoked to have found those. I think they were like $3 a piece, maybe $3.50, $4. And that's what I got there. I was kind of bummed because there was one Oscar Wilde book I really wanted to pick up, The Picture of Dorian Gray. It's one I've always been interested in and just never found. But I was super stoked to come away with what I came away with at that bookshop. I even found a book for Lucas, one of the Diary of a Wimpy Kid books, but a new one, so he was happy with that. So we left there and made our way, just kind of walking in town. My mom wanted to look at a souvenir shop. We went in, and they had a little tiny book section. So I went down there, started flipping through them, looking through them, and logo popped up. The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. So I was super stoked. It was like $2. And yeah, super happy to come away with it. Ireland was just a fantastic trip. Really a once-in-a-lifetime type thing. We went to Blarney Castle and kissed the Blarney Stone, which is something I've wanted to do since I was like 7. Went to Giant's Causeway, which was super awesome. Just did a whole lot of cool stuff, and saw a lot of really beautiful scenery. Just had fun. It was a great family vacation, and I'm glad we got to do it. So that's my haul from Ireland. Not your typical souvenir stuff, but that's the stuff I like to get when I'm out and away on vacation. So thanks for watching. Have a good one. I'll see you later. Bye.